The U.S. women's team, national team, is cashing out on the men's team's success in the 2022 World Cup.
The women got paid out from a pool of $30 million from the Women's World Cup. The men would draw from a pool of $400 million, okay? $400 million, $30 million. Why is that? It's because the Men's World Cup generates $6 billion in revenue. The Women's World Cup generates $131 million in revenue. If you want to talk about pay disparity, the Women's World Cup players get paid out 20% of the total revenue. The men get paid out 7%. As a percentage point, they are getting much more. The problem is, for anybody desiring equal pay, and by the way, I think equal pay is a ridiculous concept in and of itself. If the women generate more revenue, they should get paid more than the men. Don't strive for getting the same, strive for getting what you're worth. And if you're worth more, then get more.
Men's tournament brings in more money, but when it comes to the U.S., I'd make the argument that the women's team is far more responsible for the boost in popularity and stuff.
All right, I would make the exact opposite argument. I know everyone's going to hate me. I think the women should be paid more. I do. But if the men...
You're right that not everyone has the same skills because the women are better skilled.
Well, the women are better skilled against other women. But if the women played the men, they wouldn't be winning the way that they win.
Okay. Now, I like this part in the video where the two women try to say that the women are better skilled than the men. Don Lemon hits him with a reality check. If they were playing against the men, they wouldn't be anywhere near the top.
The United States women's national team lost to the U15 Dallas, that's under 15 boys, in a soccer match.
The Australian women's national team, who were ranked number 5 in the world at the time, lost 7-0 to a team of 15-year-old boys.
Awkward. The Arsenal women's team played against the under 15 boys in a training match. The match ended 5-0 for the boys. Certainly an embarrassing result.
Men always say how women's soccer sucks. Then come to the field and try it with us.
Score! Goal! Is it the same level as men?
Well, I think maybe relatively. So relatively, if you're a smaller human being, if it's harder for you to run a mile, which it generally is for women, if it's harder for you to sprint, if it's harder for you to make cuts because you have wider hips, that means that your knees come in, so you have more knee injuries. Well, then relatively, yes, they probably do have a just as hard as a workload, but that doesn't equate in terms of how much you're going to get paid. There are plenty of people that work hard that just don't get paid as much. The thing about entertainment and being in sports is I like rugby. I did rugby. I sacrificed a lot for rugby. I have cuts on my face just from getting split open on the field and literally having to go in a basement in South America and getting needled up to come right back on and play. I've sacrificed a lot, but it's not the NFL. In entertainment, you get paid based on your entertainment value. And unfortunately, when you're a smaller human being, when you move a little slower, to some people, you could be seen as less entertaining. Let's just be completely honest. If you go to the JV game, all you're going to see is girlfriends and parents. Why go to the JV game when you could go to the varsity game? People can say that this is discrimination, but keep in mind that women are the ones that are not doing it too.
Let me ask you this. How many of you guys on the panel know who our Australian Matildas are playing in the quarterfinals?
Don't.
No, because you don't care about it. Now, if you cared about it...
I do if they win.
No, but that's the thing.
They beat Brazil.
Do you know what? All of you can go and watch W League games in the women's competition here, but you don't. Now, when you start to go and watch these women play the wonderful football they do, then they'll earn more money.
When your paycheck is dependent on people coming and wanting to buy your service, but they're not forced to get it, but they want to buy your service, then it depends on the audience. Name 3 of the top WNBA players right now. Most people are one, maybe, if you can.
Yeah.
I say name 5 NBA players right now. LeBron. You can just keep, you can go right, you can run your name down, and you might not even like basketball, right? But that's because, but that has nothing to do with discrimination. That is all based on the marketplace.